Recording.
They popped up a note. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the November meeting for the Texas Association of Professional Bee Removers, not to be confused with Pabst Blue Ribbon or the Professional Bull Riders. So, let's just go ahead and do our roll call for the meeting. We've got President Rex here. We've got Chris Barnes. We've got Ed Vesta, Brittany Fetterman, and Mark Lockhart. So we do have a quorum.
That's our full board, right? Our full board is
No,
on a meeting.
Michael.
Well, we don't have a vice president,
Ron.
and our vice president filled position has not paid his membership dues. So
We talked about this at the convention.
we did, and
That his
so
vice presidentship position is officially open and unfilled because no one has joined.
well, that's also a position that's being voted on next month. So
Yeah.
Since we have, new members and everything that signed up, theoretically, once they're approved as members and go through our vetting process and added, they could be nominated for positions that are up for election. So we need to think about that too. So if there's someone that did sign up or has pretty quickly, but we're supposed to have a 30-day notice on our annual meeting, which is a month from today, and our elections.
So we need to give notice at this meeting? Is that what you're saying? Or we need to give notice at next meeting?
Pretty much we need to give notice by tomorrow
Okay, so,
because our election is next meeting.
okay, so,
But the people that we give notice to are the people who are actually members.
Right.
We don't have to put notice out to the general public. It's just the membership.
right.
And it can
But
be,
we did have a lot of applications. So were all those applications, they all paid, so are they all getting approved?
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to the membership part of the meeting, but I'm sure they will be.
Okay. So, Rex, just remind me which positions are coming up for voting again.
we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to keep it in our order in our meeting.
Okay. Oh, is somebody talking? Are you guys still
No, it
there?
looks like Rex is frozen.
Rex froze out.
Okay, yeah. Rex, we cannot hear you.
I can hear y'all fine. Can y'all not
Okay.
hear me? Oh, says
Yeah, you're unfrozen now.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Okay. So I was saying our secretary report, Ed, I know you were out and have had a lot going on the last couple months, but do you have anything to?
The only thing I have is I have September's meeting minutes. I don't have oh shoot. I don't have October.
Okay.
So if you want me to go through that, I can.
No, because that'll be going through that video, because Chris still needs to upload the video to YouTube, I believe, or he
Right.
has. So, and we'll have those approved next month, and then
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
And
hot.
I'll have all the minutes from all the meetings that are not posted as of yet. So I've still got 07 and 08, July and August to post, as well as October.
September, I'm pretty sure September's YouTube video is uploaded.
Yeah, I already did September. I just did that today. Yeah.
Honey, come on, be quiet.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't a whole lot of in the meeting discussed, but there was some key points that were in there. And I think y'all were discussing the whole school and the TBA. getting a booth there and stuff like that. And then there was a lot of filler.
Okay. Well, Brittany, are you, since we don't have meeting minutes to approve, we're going to go ahead and table that for next month. And,
Okay.
So next we have our treasurer's report. Miss Brittany?
Yes, okay, we have $140 in our bank account and we have $416.70 in our PayPal account. However, I would like to propose that we raise our PayPal fee on the internet. Somehow I think we have our PayPal fee set at 3%, but
Set it at 3.25%. We lost Brittany.
Yep, we did.
Hello, Brittany?
Her microphone's off.
I think when she got home, she may have switched over to her home internet or something and maybe.
okay, okay,
There
I'm
she
so
is.
sorry.
right.
Sorry about
We-
that.
Brittany, yeah, you dropped for a minute.
Okay, what all did you guys actually hear?
Last thing you said that you were going to propose increasing the PayPal fee on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, right. So we have 140 in our bank account and like 416.70. Okay, so this is why. So we're taking like you know, our swarm thing is like $25. So it looks like we're taking a it looks like $25.75 is what we were taking from swarm stuff, but our PayPal fee was $1.39. So we're getting like $24.36 for that. Our other thing we're taking like, I don't know, 3.25%. We should be getting like 75 for a year and a half's membership. We got 74.55, but somebody took a payment actually from Justin Russell at Prime Bees, and they just took a $75 flat, like for whatever reason. Instead
Yeah,
of,
I'd forgotten to do that because he didn't
Okay.
go through the online thing. He
okay,
just went straight to PayPal.
okay, that's fine. So we got like 72.34. It's like really not a big deal. Like, you know, whatever. It kind of just adds up to like maybe cumulatively from everyone's stuff we've damn it, what's wrong with my safe driving crap? Anyway, we're maybe like $10 less total than we would have been, but as we get more members, like it'll probably add up. So I would like to propose we raise the fee to like either $3 and 3.5% or 3.75%. I don't know, something that will, and you know, whatever, it's up to y'all, but you know, something that we actually get our $25-50 out of, if that's important to people.
3.25% is a good, that's what I
3.
charge.
3.25 is what it's at currently, and we're
Oh,
No,
PayPal
we just
is
did
currently
flat.
shortchanging us.
We did flat 3%.
Oh, 3%. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't realize that.
So-
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I thought we were at 3.25. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah, whatever minimal amount, we need to raise it to try to, you know.
so you're not getting a haircut?
Who, me?
No, it's an expression. Whenever you get a haircut, it means you're getting shorted money that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
See, the org doesn't get short, but we're almost at okay, so we're at 416 plus 140. If I add that up, we're still like a little bit short of, if I transferred all the money directly into our bank account, we're still a little short of the $600 that Frost wants us to have to maintain their minimum balance. So again, we can change banks if you guys want. I'm okay to do that, or I can try to negotiate with Frost again to extend our free whatever.
Yeah, I think if you can extend it just a little while longer.
Okay,
Because
I'll talk to
when
them
we
and
get
let
to the
you know
membership, I'm going to talk about.
what
I
they
got all
say.
the cell phone numbers from people that paid the Tay's fee last year, and I want to talk about sending a text blast membership push to them.
Okay, so I know this isn't quite under the treasurer's thing, but there's something I would like to talk about as far as like I feel like currently like no one is really getting anything for their membership. So if we could like put together the website thing where it's like the counties and who is the county, like, you know, people typically want a what's in it for me type of deal for joining. So
Right.
currently we're not really like, they're not getting anything out of it. I feel like we don't have like a map. We don't have like a so-and-so is like the point of contact professionally for X counties. Like we might get better membership, you know,
Mhm.
if we start having that on the website.
Okay,
Um,
that's something we can definitely talk about. for
Yeah,
sure.
with all our new members anyway, that's gonna be updated, and we'll let Chris do the website update later, after the membership committee update. But, you know, we've also got January coming up, so renewed memberships, even for ourselves going in. We'll-
Yeah,
we'll-
yeah. that's
That'll
true.
go ahead and pump and get the bank
That's
account
true.
above the
Yeah.
600. So
Just write it out one more month.
I think so. And I can go ahead and pay my $50 at the bank up the street, you know, and go ahead and get that in.
Okay, yeah, I can too, honestly. So, okay.
Well, since we're talking about that, I would like to see if there's a way, if we can have a Venmo account as well. Now,
Okay. You know, Venmo did change recently and they are now
Right.
charging fees. Okay. Just so you know, I was informed of that today by someone who was paying me for B services. They were like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just use my friend instead of services because
Right,
they changed.
yeah.
I was like, great.
the problem with us trying to set it up with Venmo is they still want the
A phone
account tied
number.
to a cell phone number.
Yeah.
And it has to be a cell phone. I thought we could try it to because we have a Google phone number associated
Okay.
with the
They-
association, but Venmo thinks that that's a landline, not a cell phone.
Hmm.
So
And
it doesn't
I'm
work.
guessing you can't have the same cell phone set up with two different phone numbers, right?
No. Yeah, you can't have the same cell phone number
Yeah. Okay.
to Venmo accounts.
That would be tricky because I don't know. Either everyone on here probably either already has a Venmo or set up, or if they set their cell phone up for Venmo, it's going to limit them from taking Venmo in their private business.
Right. Well, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about this on the way home from Galveston. There's also Cash App and Zelle. Now,
Okay.
Zelle is through the bank app,
Okay.
but some banks have it associated with it and some don't.
Yeah, mine
Okay.
doesn't.
I think Frost Bank does have Zelle on it.
So I'll just need to check with Frost and see what they take.
Okay. Do you have the app downloaded to your phone?
I don't know. My
Okay.
actual personal bank doesn't take Venmo or Zelle, so I don't have any of those apps on my phone.
Okay. I was just thinking of other ways that we could get money coming in.
Okay.
Doesn't take fees, that doesn't, charge us fees for it.
Okay. So you want me to look into Zelle with Frost, correct?
Yes, if you can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
And for that matter, Cash App too, if it's possible.
Okay.
All right. So that's our treasurer's report officially?
Yes.
Our amounts and such. Okay. Anything to add on to that before we move to membership committee report? Hello?
I don't.
Okay. All right. So next we've got membership.
Actually, yeah, no, I do realize. Okay, one of y'all bought 4 dozen donuts at the convention. Does that need to get
Mark did.
expense back to the club?
No, Rex and I both contributed $20 on that. The total was 41 something. I don't care. I just consider it a charitable contribution on my part.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't need the $20 back. So
okay,
it's a gift,
okay.
gift to the table.
Treasurer's report is over.
All right.
Oh, FYI, Frost is using Zelle.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right.
Um,
Membership committee report, Chris.
Membership committee. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 memberships for the board to look at and approve. One of them came in the middle of October. That was Kim Townsend.
Yay. Okay.
So she will need to be
invoiced.
invoiced.
Okay,
Okay. And
because-
I know her personally, so she gets
Okay.
a thumbs up. So
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, here, let me share the screen with this on here.
in fact, she called me asking how to fill it out, because she was confused.
Okay. Everybody sees the screen right here?
Yes.
Okay, here's Kim Townsend. I'm gonna open her, oh, did that still share? Or are you still looking at the list of files?
List of files so far.
Files, yeah.
Okay, let me share the screen instead of the app. Okay. Here is Kim's
Oh, her
vetting
resume.
information. So she listed, here's the people she listed. So Rex, John Talbert, Skip Talbert, Lisa
Mhm.
Dentforth. I know all of these people. I've heard of Rick Darlene. This guy down here, Willie Grow, I don't know, but that's okay.
Yeah,
To
Willie.
me, she is, and she talked to me a little bit too. And then
Okay.
she also gave me customers for us to contact. I did not contact the customers, but she gave us a lot of information, more than we actually asked for. Yeah, from the membership committee standpoint, she's definitely in the moved up to the board pending approval.
Okay.
The other 3 are Tony Andrick, James Uvarius, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing, and Justin
Yeah.
Russell. They all filled out their membership applications at the convention. But I went ahead and put them up here for the board just because I think we all talked about them enough there that we just need to get an official vote for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of these people did pay online. Can you confirm that, Brittany?
Yes, they did.
Okay. So as the chairman of the membership committee, I'm going to make a motion to the board that we approve all 4 of these memberships.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do have a
Yeah.
question about James. So Justin and Tony both paid like basically a year and a half dues. And then
Right.
James paid a year. So is his year starting in January or was
Yes,
like,
yeah, we
okay,
talked about
okay.
that, and I want to talk about that here in a second too. There were several people that kind of hemmed and hawed about even paying the prorated parts. And so James, I said, well, if you just want to pay the $25, we'll start at January 1st.
Okay, cool.
And that convinced them to go ahead and fill it out right then.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys went ahead and just paid the prorated plus all of next year.
Okay.
So before we move into that, I want to finish with these 4.
I move to approve all 4.
I second.
Aye.
Quick question. The
Yeah.
years are all there? They put in the time?
Yes. Tony is the guy that has built that battery.
All my
powered
bees
vacuum.
back. And Tony and Justin have both been doing bee removals for a long time. It looks like James is putting himself in for swarm collector.
Justin's actually a commercial beekeeper. He's got like 600 or 700 colonies.
He has 800 right now.
Yeah, or 800. I've lost track of how many he actually has. Plus, he's here in my town.
He does a lot of removals.
He's actually Ashley Ralph's husband. Ashley's the president of the TBA.
Oh, snap.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
last name, but still related.
Yeah, he's
So-
got his time in.
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure everybody's done their time and,
And I know,
I can vouch for both Justin and Tony.
and I can vouch for Kim.
and
So,
Kim, okay.
yeah.
And then James is a swarm membership. The other three are all colony removal level memberships.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I will get them added to the membership list officially. And they're
Yay.
now officially members. One, I kind of mentioned this a minute ago. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about was it's what we talked about with James. Some people kind of balked a little bit at doing the prorated membership this late in the year. They would rather just pay their membership. They're okay with paying their membership dues now and having them start take effect January 1st.
Okay, they can do that. And we'll
Yeah,
just add them January
but
1st.
we need board approval to make that happen. Basically, give a third option. My opinion is, when do y'all want to start that? November 1st, make that a viable thing that we can take memberships that are effective in January. Now, if they're colony removal people, though, they don't get to vote in December if they're not members officially until January, though.
When is
Right.
the official December voting?
The bylaws say at the annual meeting, which is the December board meeting.
Which, let me look at my calendar here.
So second Tuesday of or second Wednesday of every December?
Yeah, unless we
Yeah.
change the date, but
Which will be December 8th.
Okay, so let's say that we say, okay, people can start paying for the following year in November. How are we gonna have like a, like a thing to, I'm fine for that, by the way. I just want to make sure we have like an organized system, like you mentioned, like for them not to vote the previous year if they're not previous year members.
I think let me look at my membership list real quick. Membership list, here we go. I'll share it in just a second as soon as I know what I'm talking about. Here, I'll just share this and we can. Okay, here's the Google Sheets where I keep the membership list. And you see where I've X'd out some people that thought they were going to join and then didn't.
Yeah, probably
I
you
guess
should
there's
X
one more.
out
I guess I
that
could
line
do this one right
too.
here too.
Yeah.
But what I did was I put members sent so I know when they first joined. But I guess I can add another column that's like 2022 dues paid.
How up to date is that spreadsheet? Because do we only have
It's
three
not.
of us that are?
I need to go through it after this meeting. I will update it after tonight because we've now approved new members and a lot of new members have paid. So I'll update it after tonight. And if you guys go back in tomorrow, it will be updated.
Okay.
What, did Dan Jones pay, Brittany, or do you know?
1 second, let me look that up. I believe he did, but I need
okay.
to look at 1 second.
Boy,
Oh. Come on, PayPal. 1 second. It logged me out because PayPal is classy like that.
Just check on it later then.
Yeah. I'll
And,
let you guys know in the next 5 minutes or so.
and Brad Poe, to my knowledge, has not been doing removals for 3 years, so that makes
He-
him ineligible.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Well, you guys also had a requirement of 5 customer testimonials.
Well, we do have this other list that's people banned from joining. And we discussed that a couple weeks ago. And Brad Poe's on the banned list.
Okay.
We have not gotten an application from him. So at this point, it's a moot point.
Yeah.
We
Um,
haven't?
Taking so much crap on Facebook.
Yeah, you shouldn't even talk about
I
it.
do say that, see that he has been advertising again and, pushing the, was it Hives for Heroes to do removals or whatever?
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
Yay, yay.
I don't remember who, I think somebody, one of us knew specifically about this.
I do.
That was Mark
Oh, so
Lockhart.
it was Rex, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah,
Um,
I contacted the customer who had complained about it and asked her for her story, and
Okay,
I got like a dissertation of everything that happened and was promised and not fulfilled. And
did you call Brad about and talk to him about it?
no,
Okay,
Well,
Because-
I always think it is, I
But
think maybe that we should still do that because, I don't know, there's two sides to every story.
if he submits an application, we can.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a good way to do it. Until he submits an application, it's a moot point, and we
Right.
don't need to poke the bear.
I mean, we had the same thing happen with Dan where, we had to clarify, some
Yeah.
things about him.
And that worked out, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, y'all, I really think Dan paid, but for some reason this is only pulling to October on my cell phone
Okay.
and I can't.
Well,
get
this
it
says he
to pull
joined
earlier.
August 14th. The membership
So-
says he joined August 14th.
Yeah, Dan, I'm
Yes,
pretty sure he paid, so I think I'm gonna have to,
Yeah, just
I don't
clarify
know.
when you can
Even
log in
my
on
yeah.
a desktop or
computer-
something.
I'm gonna have to log in on a computer to
Alright.
pull it.
Well, he's gonna be up for renewal here in a month or so anyway, so
Okay,
it's about to be a moot point, but
okay,
all right. Well, I will get the application people in here added with all their addresses and stuff. And then Brittany, you can come in and fill out the dues section of this.
okay. I'm gonna change column D to be 2021 dues invoice sent, basically.
Okay, well, we're in 20.
Yeah, column D,
Well,
not column E.
we'll need two columns because we'll need to know who's current in 2021, but some people have already paid for 2022.
Yeah, right. So
So-
basically, there's gonna be three columns. C is gonna say date. Okay, it's gonna change to 2021 dues paid. Column C, I'm gonna change the name of that to 2021 dues paid. Column D, I'm gonna change to 2021 dues invoiced. And then column E will be 2022 dues paid. I guess.
Like that?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
and
mean,
then
we all have access to the spreadsheet, so.
Okay.
But
Okay.
alrighty. And I guess how we might as well talk about it now. How do we want to do notification of
Hey,
renewal for memberships?
I think we should send like an email blast
Okay. Well, I actually have,
and maybe
For-
also a text blast.
yeah. Well, I have on my my notes for new business for the meeting that we need to create two new email lists.
Okay.
One for the colony removers and one for the swarm removers. Or one for swarm removers and one for everybody.
Okay.
Or however we want to do that, but that's on my to talk about later list.
Okay. Yeah, because we do need to be able to send an email out to the folks that have been approved now.
Right.
Just to let them know about next month's meeting. And
Well, as membership director, I'm gonna send, yeah, Brittany. I was gonna send just a quick email out to people saying your membership was officially approved. You're now a member. I'm gonna put you on the website and give them the plans to do other stuff too.
Okay.
But that's just a personal note just to them. But then I'm also gonna create that group, and I'll probably create it in Google Groups. It's easy to manage that way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we're kind of bleeding into the website update also, as far as
Okay.
you know.
Well, before we move, there's two people that expressed a big desire to just fill out the membership application, but didn't actually do it at the convention.
Okay. Who are
Charlie Agar and
Charlie
Brandon.
B. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brandon Fahrenkamp.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make sure that I touch base with these guys tomorrow and give them the link, because they were just busy running around, and I want to make sure that they have the link so that they can hurry up and join.
Yeah, and Brandon's girlfriend she came up to me and asked if Brandon had actually filled it out yet, and I said no. She goes, okay, I'll get on him about it. So if anyone knows her or can get a hold of her,
I
she
think her
might be
name
able
is
to.
Caitlin, but I've not met her.
Okay.
But I do keep in touch with Brandon, but you know.
Okay. Okay, good. Well,
Okay, so actually, before we move on to website updates, while we're on the topic of membership and kind of slightly off topic, but Rex, maybe you can say, did you have like board nominations and board stuff scheduled for later in the meeting?
I do. Yeah, that's going to be under
Okay.
new business after education chair.
Never mind. Go ahead and continue with website stuff.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I can't get over that. Oh, Jesus.
What was that?
Oh my, here, look, this is my pillow.
It's your what?
My-
Your pillow?
Can you see that? My kid drew all over that. And then if I pull up the, can you see that? Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, someone
That's
got
some
our
serious art.
There's nothing my kid doesn't draw on in my house. That's
He
so
drew on
good.
your mattress?
This is the problem, is it's never on my fucking watch. No, mom would never allow that BS. Mm-hmm. Make your logical deductions from that.
You know, in 30 years after they've moved out of the house,
It's not gonna
you're
matter.
gonna look back at this mattress
I
and
won't have
wish-
the same mattress in 30 years. But
won't
yes,
matter.
you're right.
It won't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's just like always like, oh my God, one more thing to clean.
Okay, website. I'm gonna just share the website real quick too. Okay. As far as I mean, if y'all have any suggestions for anything in other sections of the website, I'm more than happy to talk about it and do whatever. But for
Yeah,
me,
so I do have some ideas.
okay.
We need to get SEO ranked big time.
What?
Wait, what?
SEO, that's search optimization.
Search
Oh.
engine optimization. So I spent my TBA convention attending all of the marketing classes that were on offer.
Good.
And basically, okay, so if you go to Google and you type in Texas Association of Professional Bee Removers, it is like the 10th thing that shows up. We are way, way down there.
So how do we get optimized?
Okay, so basically, we can possibly, so there's some different things we could do. We could, if we were willing to associate a phone number and a physical address, we could make like a Google My Business listing, but then we'd have to have a phone number and an address.
Well, we do
associated
have a
with-
phone number.
Okay.
We
That
have
would
the Google
help.
Voice number.
Backlinks help basically if we can get any other places like I know you mentioned like trying to get us to be the new TAIS list of removers.
Mhm.
The more trusted Google web pages, like web pages that rank highly, that have been around on Google for a long time, those are classified as trusted web pages. The more of those types of web pages that we can get to link to our site, the higher our like Google trusting thing will go. So if we can get TAS to link to us, if we can get TBA to link to us, those will all go away. If we decide to do any type of like working with, I don't know, like news agencies to do a story on us or something and like link to our website, all those types of things help, like as far as marketing goes. But as a benefit to our members, like I think it would be super helpful if like people typed into Google like I need a professional bee remover, and our site wasn't like buried on page 2.
Yeah. Yeah, like if just searching for this right here, we need to be up here.
Yeah, don't we
Yeah.
need to upload content? Is that what we need to do, is upload
Well,
content, like the
and the first
videos?
ones are always, those are paid ads. The first ones are paid ads. If we don't
Yeah.
pay, we're not going to rank on.
Like
Yeah,
if you look
these
at
are-
like
these
one
are
of the
paid right
paid
here.
ads, Texas Bee Works showed up, and she's based out of
Yeah,
like
right here. She's one of the-
Austin. But honestly, Brian Farrenkamp told me she's not even doing that stuff because she's basically like buddy with Angelina Jolie doing bee.
well, I'll tell you how she ranks this high is because she does so many things, or she
Snapchat.
did on
She has
TikTok.
So
and link
many
to her page.
backlinks. Yes, she's
Her-
been in so many news things. She's been in so many commercials. She's been in so many print ads,
TikTok.
and she gets them to all back. It's called backlinking. Like they all link to her website. That's how she ranks so high. Yes.
TikTokers.
Yeah. So, if we could get our ranking up, I think that would be helpful. But most importantly, if we could also have the thing on the website that, has each person's individual, like, this is so-and-so, this is what they do, this is the county they work in, contact information, kind of like what we
Like
said
that
we were
here?
going to offer members.
This
Definitely. Yeah, that thing. And all like the new people as well.
right, yeah. Getting the new
That's
people added
awesome.
to this is like something I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we talked about it at the meeting at the table when they were joining, and so we need to follow through and make sure that this shows up.
Yeah. Just have some area for text at the bottom of each person to at least list their counties for now.
I don't know about this picture up here though.
If we had like an interactive map of Texas with a bunch of pins on it, or that might be helpful too. Or if we had,
Well, let me talk about this other thing though, because one of the there's a plugin to do this part automatically. So that, and it can be tied into the membership application form too. So that when they are approved for membership, all of the information in the form automatically gets put into the WordPress database as a user, and then the plugin handles displaying the directory for us.
that's nice.
And let me see if I can bring it up really, really fast. It's called, I think it's Connections. Is it Connections?
Hey, while you're looking at it, I have a question. As we grow, we're gonna get to the point where we have like, say, 8 people in Harris County, right?
Right.
I think Harris County covers the Houston area. how are you going to organize them? Are you going to organize them based on who carries, like just okay, there's a few different ways to organize them, just based on alphanumeric order, or based
Um,
on who carries insurance, then who's a colony specialist, then who's a swarm specialist? I mean,
well, okay, on this page right here, this page is going to be the one that's changed more than anything.
okay.
Because this is the thing the public comes to. The first thing the public is going to ask is, sort of like on the TASE page, what county are you in?
Yeah.
Because we don't need to list, Brittany if it's in Dallas.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
So basically what we're going to do, let me switch over to the, here's the actual application form. And you see it asks them for their home county and then all other counties in which they operate.
Yeah.
The plan is that when somebody, let's say somebody says Gonzales County, I don't even know where that is. The people who listed Gonzales County as their home county go to the top.
Right, but for a big county like Carrick,
right? I'll get to that.
You're gonna have a lot of people.
Yeah,
listing that as home
I'll
county.
get to that in a second.
Okay.
The people who listed Gonzales County as I will also go there are below the home county people.
That makes sense.
Now,
Yeah.
within each section, it's randomly sorted every time.
Okay.
So, like, if for the 20 people in Harris County, Ed may be, I don't know if you're going to list Harris County as your home or not, Ed, but let's say you do. You may be at the top the first time, and then the next time you'll be 7th down the list.
So
that's the only fair way I can think of to do that.
Well, we had previously talked about when we were dropping you have to have insurance requirement to join, having the people with insurance basically act as platinum or preferred. So would there be a way for you to I know it would be rotating, but like everyone with insurance would rotate
First.
basically be
actually, I think what I'm going to do is just make sure that in the listing here, it'll put, Carrie's liability insurance and bold print. So people will be able to see right off the bat who carries insurance and who doesn't.
All right.
Okay.
That you may not move up in the list because of that, but at least that's going to jump out right there at the top.
Or have an icon that represents that or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably, the Connections business directory, here's the template that I'm looking at. It's got lots of different ways to display the directory, and there's examples for it and stuff like that. Let's see.
Hey, Chris, can we put our logos on our little square thing?
Yes, yeah. What's that?
I was just saying Ed's idea was super awesome.
Well, one of the things that I really
logos
want to do is over here is, everybody puts their email address on here. You will be able to log into the website with your email address and update your own information.
Okay.
And that includes a thumbnail picture, like right here.
Yes.
It can either be your logo or a picture of yourself or whatever, 90 pixel by 90 pixel image you want to put there.
A honeybee.
Yeah, everybody's going to have a honeybee.
Such a nice photo of you, Ed, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That open air colony. I love it.
Yeah, a customer took it and sent it to me, and I'm like, what? I was like, took that with an iPhone? It's freaking sweet. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It was hard to find pictures for this top little banner to use because the text isn't bold.
Good.
It has to be such that like his hat, I couldn't have the word home show up in his hat.
No, that one is a really good photo because it fits the space really well.
Yeah, it does.
You cropped it up good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I kind of worked on a lot. You know, like if you look at member benefits, I don't remember where I got this. This is a house
cool.
that they had boarded up the glass window, and the bees built the comb
Right on the
between
glass.
the board
Oh,
and the
wow.
glass. So
Yeah.
it's like the house had a giant
Observation.
observation hive. I
Yes.
cool.
hated removing that.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
It was awesome. And they were super
is
gentle
cool.
bees too. There was no
Oh.
doubt about what was involved in it before I was working on it.
No
Just
doubt.
go to the house and look at it. It's like, all right, well, there's the comb.
There it is.
But
What-
No more
Remember-
mystery.
Remember my suggestion, thank you, that I think that if you type in the association and your location, it should be like when you go to Google's map and you type in McDonald's, it'll show you, 12 different McDonald's around your location, and you can
Yeah.
choose the one first based
Um,
on maps.
I
I think we're gonna need some SEO to get that to happen though.
yeah, that it has to use the person's location tied to it too. I'm not exactly sure how to make that part work, but if we're at least asking them for what county and whether it's a swarm or a colony removal.
Google Maps has it. It's easy to do from Google Maps. My son was telling me about it. Because, Harris County is huge. And I really don't want to travel to Pasadena or LaPorte or someplace like that. I want to, stay in my area. And so I don't
Yeah,
really
but
want phone
How are
calls
you
from
gonna,
those
how are
areas.
you gonna specify like an address with a radius around your location?
Well, I could, specify my home address, and when people say, where are the beekeepers, bee removers near me? If I'm on there and they show up, close to me, I'm interested in them. But if they, show up in Kingwood or, Port Angeles, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, are those counties that you still list though?
No, this is all Harris County. It's a
That's all
huge
Harris County,
photo.
okay, yeah.
So it may be a thing where on your entry,
Got that right.
in addition to having your logo or whatever in a picture of you, be able to have a little, like a sentence saying, this section or this quadrant of Harris County or something.
Northwest.
Or specific towns or areas that you
Well,
like to
I can
cover.
see, the only way I can really think of it is to have a radius from a set address. And each person can set that on their own.
Mhm. Right. Like willing to go 25 miles from my address or 50 miles from my address. And so they could actually type your address in and go, oh, he's too far away.
I'm
Yeah,
not giving my address out.
Yeah. So radial drive is, whatever the number is. And
You might be
Well-
able to do a radial out of a zip code without giving out your address. I don't know for sure. I'm just a guess.
yeah, and see, it's got to work the same for everybody too, though.
Mm.
Well, my address is on my business card. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what I'm saying is what you're looking for has to match up with somebody like Steve Butler. Oh, by the way, Steve Butler filled out an application, didn't he?
He paid for this
Okay,
year.
I don't have okay, that was at the Brazos Valley Bee School.
Yeah,
I don't have an application for him.
I never
He
sent him
should
one.
be on that membership list.
Yeah,
Did he just
OMG.
give you money without an application?
yes, he gave me cash and I put that in the bank.
Okay, and then Chris spent that
Yes.
to make us get our booth at TBA. So one of y'all just email him and be like, hey, you actually have to fill out the application also.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Right, yes, Dr.
Yes.
Butler.
Be like,
Ugh.
just fill out the application so you can vote at the whatever board meeting. Okay, so.
All right, so that's the, yeah, I'm glad that came up because I didn't want to forget him. But like, see, Butler, when in his area is so big
There
that,
you go.
I mean, talking about a radius for him doesn't make any sense.
He goes from Dripping Springs which is like about an hour west of Austin, to he goes all the way into Houston.
Well,
Yep.
and he goes
Okay.
like up to Lufkin too, I think.
Yeah. He'll go anywhere as long as someone's paying him and he doesn't have something else going on. Is
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
much
and
it.
I know
Right.
he'll go all the way to
Yeah.
the coast too. He go to
All right.
Port Aransas.
Mhm.
So I've got a question about his
Dang.
membership then, since we don't have a written application from him. Would we just go ahead and start his January 1 for this fresh year?
How much did he pay?
$50. He handed me $50 cash,
Yeah, that's for next year.
and we haven't
Yeah,
got him on a
just
list
start him
yet.
for
We-
next
Oh,
year.
well, no,
Yeah.
let's ask him. Let's ask him.
Yeah,
Because it could also be current year only, and then he
That's
would
true.
renew.
because if he wants to vote, ask him if he wants to vote for the upcoming board.
Election.
There you
Yeah.
go,
I'll give him
That's
the option.
what I'm talking about.
Because if
Okay.
he wants to run for a position also, which I don't know if he does or not, he'd need to, be a member during that
That
time.
time.
frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
definitely.
It's
Okay.
awesome. I love it.
Well, we can revisit how the search parameters work as far as narrowing down the customer and where somebody's at as we get some more. The one thing I did want to mention is the guy who has that connections program has offered to customize the code to fit what we want. And he said it would be about $125. And that includes installing it all for us too. Because I've looked at it and it looks a little bit beyond what I've been able to do.
So, like, from my perspective, we're not lobbying for like reduced insurance rates at this time. So, like, my mentality on this is the biggest thing, like our value add, like if someone joins, what's in it for me is that we are, somehow getting them visibility as a remover. So whatever activities that we're doing that increase that, I'm in favor of, if we're optimizing our website or we're paying someone to like increase our SEO ranking or, whatever, like that's really in my mind, like what people are getting out of their membership or what they should be getting out of their membership.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that if we, on their getting their membership, have like a form letter that lists, the insurance companies that we do know about that we can recommend. Ed and I
Yeah,
use
that would be
Citadel.
helpful.
I love using Citadel. I
Or
don't
if
know
we
what-
had like a members only login and all the insurance carriers that, and what their rates were just in the members only thing too, without us having to like, spend money to mail stuff out could be like
Right.
a different way to do that for people.
Yeah.
Bring insurance back up a little bit later, Mark, or Rex,
Okay.
because I got something else I want to talk about for that too.
Okay.
Okay, well, what do y'all think about? I hadn't been pursuing that guy doing the website plugins and programming for us because we didn't have the money in the bank account. What do y'all think about it now?
I think after the new year, we can afford to do it, once we get our
Okay.
$600
So
and then.
I'll
we
just
still-
email him and tell him, because I told him, well, we're brand new. We're still waiting on some dues to come in. And so he was kind of put on hold, but I'll tell him January 1st, we're
Yeah.
probably going to want to hire you. Okay.
Yeah.
And the fact is, we still have $600 debt to you as well. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, I was gonna use $50 of that for my renewal.
okay.
Yeah.
Reduce the
Well-
debt.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
M-
Brittany can just
My son
track of
did
that.
my website, my search engine optimization. He used to be a business analyst with Amazon, and he owes me big time. So, you know, we
Well-
might be able to use him for a lot of stuff
I
too.
would love to get somebody else that, I mean, because I know how to do some things, but there's some things that I can do it ugly. I'd rather have somebody else who can do it right. You know,
Yeah.
So if you can talk him into it, I'll give him an account on the website and he can log in and see what he says.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yes.
What's your son's name?
Ian Lockhart.
IAN.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Mark, I almost made a special video for you today that shows how I do removals with that the two like catch thing system that I was talking to you about at
Yeah. Yeah.
the conference. Although when I showed up to the removal today, I stepped up on the deck and my foot fell through. So I told them it was not structurally sound for me to do that removal. They needed to fix their deck first.
True.
Yeah. So I haven't forgotten about you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna video it the next time I do a removal for you.
A video or just some pictures.
Okay.
Does anybody want to come do a tree removal with me tomorrow? It's actually looks like a pretty easy one.
I mean, if you like
I'm already booked.
gave more heads up than a day or 3 days, I would come. But you're such short notice, Chris.
Yeah,
I
that's-
know.
Doing stuff tomorrow
Every
doesn't work.
time.
Well, they just called me today, but it's a golf course that they already cut the tree down
Yeah.
and they found and this thing it's a giant tree. It's probably, it would take 4 of us to get our hands wrapped around the tree.
That's a big tree.
But they cut it right, it looks like right at the bottom of where the hive is. So the
Oh.
bees are all congregating down on the base,
Yeah.
but I can see comb running up in the crack in the part that's already fallen down. So
You're gonna need a big chainsaw, boy.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Actually, I do most of my tree removals for down trees with a 14-inch chainsaw. You have to take the guard off your chainsaw.
I do
Is that
know what the
something you should be
20-inch steel
recommending?
bow.
Huh?
Is that something you should be recommending?
Mm-mm.
Well, if you look at anyone who does like, okay, probably not, but if you look at anyone who like does any type of like tree carving or anything like anywhere across the internet, they all take the guards off the chainsaws. Like otherwise you need like a 26-inch chain, you need like a crazy link chainsaw. So
Not
maybe
necessarily.
not something you should be recommending, but definitely something to spend your time researching and looking into. You can take down some really big trees with a much smaller chainsaw if you know how to chainsaw it.
Mm.
well, the problem with this tree is it looks really green still.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, those do
Oh,
eat the
yeah.
blades. Those do eat the chains very quickly. Yeah.
But
Especially when you
like I said,
cut
a
with the
bunch of the
grain.
comb is already exposed.
If
So
you weren't doing it until next week, I would come join you. But I have a bunch of stuff tomorrow.
they're
for you.
redoing their cart paths and everything.
Yeah.
So
All right,
They
guys,
want me to
let's
come
let's
tomorrow.
let's stick
Yeah,
to
I'm
our
sorry.
agenda.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
stick to
Yeah,
our
sorry.
agenda.
Yeah, we're
All right.
steering.
So our next order of business is our education chair report, and I know Mark has something that he has been manifesting. So can you tell us about it, Mark?
Yeah, Pam Mason, who's what is her title? Continuing education coordinator for All-Star Training, which is the biggest pesticide continuing education provider in the state of Texas. I reached out to her and said that, we've started this association. We're going to be making some training videos, and there's a lot of overlap that structural pest control operators would be interested in, and maybe we could work together. And she is very, in fact, I got another email from her just yesterday that said that she is, waiting for us, if she would like to see like a little 5-10 minute video of what it would entail, just to get an idea if it's going to be something professional, and they would like to offer it on their website for online continuing education, and possibly compensate us for us, and certainly get the Texas Association of Professional Bee Removers name out there
Hey,
in the state of Texas. Because I'm tired of Terminex sending me out on yellow jackets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think without payment, then there's not going to be any incentive for us to do anything for them. So that's going to be something that would,
Yeah.
if we're gonna put together something, then we need to
I'm
be
thinking,
compensated.
yeah, if we're going to be compensated, they'll probably, want to take ownership of it, which I don't mind, because it'll be something, 35, 45 minute videos specifically aimed at exterminators, which doesn't really apply so much to us, but some of it does. There'll be some overlap. But I would think that something like that should have a value of, $500-600.
Hey, well, if while you're partnering with them, maybe you could pitch the idea of like, you're making this training video for them, whatever. There's professional bee removers in the state. Can we give you the list? And I mean, Terminex is basically a chain. Maybe you could also work out a deal with them where they start like in the different zones, start referring to, professional bee removers.
That's what they do here in Dallas for me. If they encounter bees, I get the phone call from Terminex with them either
Okay.
subbing the workout to me or just passing it on to me to deal with the customer.
All right.
Yeah, see, I get it from ABC Pest, Home and Pest Control.
And see,
Yeah,
I've
I don't get it
AB
from Terminex. They're like, I get mixed results when I call them and offer to like partner with them. They're like, depending on who I talk to, we already have a company we refer to we just euthanize the bees. So who really knows what's happening in my area?
Tell Bama, thank you. Yeah, I've contacted ABC in Houston 3, maybe 4 times in the past 10 years and gotten 0 interest. And Terminex, there's 4 offices in the Houston area. 3 of them use me, and the one in Katy, West Houston, doesn't use me at all. They just kill them, and then they have a handyman come out and do the clean out. And so each office kind of does its own thing.
If you're making this thing that Terminex is going to use of like, hey, how to handle bees, I think it would also be helpful if they're kind of like dole out, like, here's some contacts you can use in your respective areas, because it's a good promo thing for them. Like if they do it right, they can take this video and they can, upmarket it and be like, we're bee friendly or whatever, get that on the news, like promote their own business or whatever.
Right. Well, I was thinking of, just going into Terminex office and doing like a little presentation. And I thought, well, think bigger, make it part of the continuing education.
Absolutely.
They've certified. Now they've got 1.5 hours continuing education credits.
I love the idea that you're going with like basically a partnership between the pest control companies and our professional organization. Well, actually, I'm just assuming that's what your idea is, but if that's not your idea, I love
like
that
to me.
idea.
Well, and it's actually with the pest control training companies that you're dealing with that provide the continuing education for all the pest control in the state. So.
Yeah, because how great would it be if they're like, here's our training for you guys, and then here's the list of people to reach out to, like, because I could imagine that.
Go ahead. To the website, the
Yeah,
website,
right. Perfect. Yeah, here's the website and go
Resource.
find the people relevant to your area. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. I love that, Mark. That's really good.
Okay.
I think that would benefit
I
both.
swore I would never write
industries.
another lesson plan again, but here I am.
Yeah, and production for a nice professional looking video for training like that is going to take, time and redos and editing and
It's gonna take Dan Gore.
yeah.
You have to join
Dan Gore
first.
is really good at video stuff. If you can buy him a fancy meal or see what he wants, he's super good at that. I
Well,
don't
actually,
know
I've got a better suggestion,
background.
even
is.
better than Stan.
Okay.
Charlie Agar, he's been having all of his removals done as a production.
Yeah, but
for
he
a
doesn't
TV
do
series.
the videography himself. He has
Well, I know, but I'm thinking
Okay.
the guys that are doing the videography for him.
Yeah, he's based up in my area, so he's in New Braunfels. So I don't know that. Certainly reach out to him. I don't know if his. Okay, so I know people who work in the film and TV industry, and usually here's how that kind of works: is they film and TV whatever for a specific show, which my understanding is Charlie's has a
Oh,
show.
yeah.
So
Right.
they work on Charlie's show. And I'm not sure, certainly reach out to him, but I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to get those people to go to Houston to do videography for you
Give me that.
without having to offer them, day rates, which are very high in that industry. Based on
there
people I know, it's $1,500 to $2,000 a day for day rates. Yeah.
never hurts to contact maybe
Yeah.
a community college or something that has video production classes, things like
Yes.
that too.
Offer them an
Yeah.
internship credit. Right? I don't know.
A project credit or something, for a single
yeah.
video, who knows?
That's a good idea.
I mean, it's things to look at, for
Like-
something that can be more professional than someone's iPhone just swinging around while we're talking,
But I do know that, okay, do you know the Forest Abscon videos that Steve Butler has that people really like? Stan shot all those and edited all of them.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I know Stan does good work, because Steve told me Stan did all that.
I think
So-
Stan keeps ownership of his stuff, though.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know any of the details of that.
I know that Steve doesn't post it to his own YouTube channel. Stan posts
Okay.
it to his.
To
It's not even YouTube.
Vimeo.
It's Vimeo or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, if it were a hired thing for a special project, then
I know Stan did all Steve stuff for free, so maybe something could be worked out with him. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know the details. I just know the quality of the content that I had seen.
yeah, he does do good work. All right. Well, do we have
Sounds like
anything
lots
else
of
for
ideas.
education, Mark?
Pardon?
Do we have anything else for education report?
No.
Okay,
That's
well,
all.
thank you for that. And yeah, I do think we need to, come up with a curriculum of something. So they want kind of a teaser thing first.
Right.
Is that what I'm getting? So like a little 5-minute teaser video and then,
Yep.
showing
Pam
what-
Mason can
what
take
can
to
be
the
taught.
executives and show that this guy is going to, be willing to expand this, make a 45-minute, 1-hour video. And we could use it for continuing education credits.
Right.
So, I could write up a lesson plan.
script.
Yeah, I've got a camera, but I don't know anything about editing videos myself.
I've got
Yeah.
video editing software, so. Okay. Well, next we've got new business, which is our elections is the big one. So our nomination committee is going to be the members of the board who are currently not of a position that's going to be up for election. So that leaves myself, Ed, and Mark as the nominating committee. Should y'all accept? And the positions that we have open are vice president, membership director, and treasurer. And I've already spoken with our membership director and treasurer, Chris and Brittany, and asked to see if they were both interested in continuing the positions that they have filled this last year, and they have both affirmed that they are willing to. And so that leaves us needing to fill a position of VP. And Brittany will get to the VP duties later. And whether we will take open nominations from members now that we have some members for running against those positions or for the VP position. Do we have thoughts on those? I mean, that's basically where we're at.
I do. Of course I do.
All right, Brittany, what you got?
Okay, so as I mentioned to Rex at the conference, in my mind, the VP role is really kind of like the president in training role, or that's how I think it should function. Like, you know, you're basically kind of like training and understanding the president. I mean, obviously, in my mind, also the VP should have their own duties, but it's kind of like a learning what the president would do, and ideally on the next cycle you would run for president. So it, you know, you kind of always have like a little bit of a backup thing there. Now, having said that, I think it would make, from my perspective, make sense to nominate Chris to the VP role, since
Well,
he's coming up for, you know, he's coming off the board and available to get back on the board.
but he's accepting a nomination for running for membership director again.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, like, are we, okay, so, we're gonna have to nominate someone, from, like, I guess the new members for VP then.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Unless Chris, I mean, you have, you know, Rex has nominated you for membership. I've nominated you for VP. You have the choice at will to decide which you choose to run for.
Yeah, we kind of ran into this last time, didn't we? With
And I'm fine with whatever you choose to run for, by the way.
To be honest, I had not even considered running for VP.
Okay.
It's the thought just had never crossed my mind. I've always been of such a mindset of things that I have in mind for trying to get the membership going, because
Okay.
and I'm, to be honest, I've been disappointed with how I've done that so far. And so I feel like I need to do that again so that I
Okay.
can do it right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. That's
I
fair.
think we're always refining, you know, the way we work. And so I like that.
Okay. So then, from our existing members, I guess we need to nominate someone for VP, correct? Or we
Steve
need
Butler.
to
Well,
approach.
it doesn't have to
ask for
necessarily be
nomination.
tonight. Although
Right.
it needs to be within the next few days.
Well,
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I really, he's actually not joined yet officially, but I really was impressed with Charlie Agar.
I was too.
Okay.
If he and Brandon could be reached out to get their memberships done and maybe talk to them about the fact that we do have an open VP
So
position.
I did talk to Brandon at the conference. And the situation that like popped up earlier in the year with like his dad has resolved. So he might be more available now. I don't know, but yeah, definitely. I do have a line with Charlie. He and I have been
Okay.
messaging since the conference. So if you guys want me to reach out to him, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, that would be great.
Actually, I'm in the middle of composing an email to him right this minute.
All right, sounds like you have
With
taken
the, with a link to
initiative.
the page.
Yes.
Okay.
The funny thing is,
He
his
would have
business
to
card, his
join.
business card doesn't have his actual email address on here.
Hold on, I have it. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna talk.
Oh, wait, I see it.
Is it on his business card?
It's takethesebees@gmail.com, right?
Probably. It is.
I'm looking at his
Yeah,
website.
that's it. Take these bees at gmail.com. That's it. Yeah, I guess you'd have to talk him into joining for the 1.5 year membership because he'll have to be a member prior to the.
He was good with that anyway.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Brittany,
really
I was
nice.
thinking that the position of VP should also entail like somebody who's like a grease man. You know, somebody that really goes out there and really promotes, you know,
Yes, yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the guy that goes out and makes phone calls, the guy that goes, he's got to be the face. He gets out there. He's at every convention. He's the one selling. He's got to be the salesman.
Yes.
for-
Oh my
for
gosh. That
this
is
whole
exactly
entire
what I
association.
pitched to Rex what the new VP duties should be.
Yeah,
Because the VP kind of really doesn't have duties right now. So yes,
Right.
yes, I completely second that amendment to VP duties.
yeah. Grease man, get out there and hustle.
Grease man.
Yeah, I'm serious. Get out there and
Yeah.
get the job done. Get recruits, get people on board. You're the VP. You're the vice president. You need to ensure the success of our, you know, establishment. Make sure our kitty's full. Make, you know, bring home the bacon for the whole thing, because nobody's doing that. Nobody's really doing it. We're all talking. We're all excited. We had a used car salesman sell us a whole bunch of goods. He had some great ideas, but nothing happened. So we need
On-
man of action.
On that note, weren't we going to take the apiary inspection list of relocators and divvy it up and start making some
Yes.
phone calls?
Right. That hasn't happened yet either. If I
Well,
was VP, I'd be
We
like, look, take
had
this
assigned
list,
that
take
to
this
the
list.
VP role, but we have an open VP role, which
well, that's actually one of the things that I forgot to talk about during my part. I've got all the text message or all of the phone numbers. I was just going to start that text blast out this week.
okay. So
Can you
you're
break
doing
up the
that
list
first.
and just give us like a, you know, a quarter of them or a
Okay.
sixth,
Yeah.
you know, and so we can actually take on, hey, look, I've been assigned to contact you and I am so-and-so with, because we're all board
Yeah.
members. We're all
Yeah.
legit. Shit. But yeah, the
I'm all-
VP is the guy that should be doing that. He should be the one to be like, look, okay, you guys are gonna be my minions. We're gonna get this job done. Enroll everybody into like what is needing to be done as far as really bringing in the membership. Because this is like, you know, it's time. We're about to hit a new season and we want everybody on board before the season starts.
So,
So-
okay, Rex, I know you wanted us to talk about VP roles later, but I do agree with Ed. I feel like we should, as a board, during this meeting, decide on whoever's running for VP, I feel like they should know what their job entails before they run for that position.
Right.
Right.
If we're about to modify or assign some actual activities of that role, I think we should do it in this meeting before we ask people like, hey, are you interested in running for VP? Oh, by the way, after you've accepted this position, we're tacking on all these responsibilities to it. I think we should be like, this is what the role is going to be. Do you want to do it?
Yeah. Amen. Definitely. Just
I
let them
agree.
up. know up
Yeah,
front.
I agree.
So what are the roles?
I
Do-
would personally like to see that the VP is the face. Okay, so obviously the president theoretically is going to attend all the conventions that we are representing ourselves at, but I would say specific to the VP role, it should be written in, attends all conventions as the face of the organization.
Yes.
And then also is responsible for, working closely with / shadowing the president with the understanding that the VP is being groomed for a potential
Presidency.
successor role as president.
Yeah.
Not that necessarily, I mean, I think anyone on the board can basically, run for that role, but with the way that the board runs, with the certain positions being like voted on every other year, it does kind of make it trickier. And then like Ed was saying, like the VP is basically responsible for like the marketing and recruitment of the org, or, I don't know. That's kind of vague. So we probably want to refine that, and however we want to refine that specific role, responsibility.
If there's somebody that needs to be contacted about something that has to do with our association, like they need to be like the PR person, the person that's going to be out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
represent us. Like, okay, I'm the vice president of Texas Association of Professional Beer Movers, and we'd like to bring you into this, or we'd like to be a part of this, or whatever it is that we're up to, we want to do. That person should be the one going out there and getting it. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yes,
Well,
I
I
love
will-
that.
I will say that the person that we have been talking about to potentially fill this role is very good at speaking too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want it to be like a very clear set of responsibilities for the role prior to someone stepping into the role. So there's no like, hey, we expected this. And they're like, well, I mean, no one ever told me that.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we need to draft a bill or a duty sheet
And we have a duty sheet in our organization.
already
Can
drafted.
we
So
open
we just
that
need to,
And the
And
bylaws,
edit
the
on it
bylaws
in the
actually
sheet?
have the job description. So we would need an amendment to the bylaws to
Yeah,
change
that's
the
what we're-
description for
that's
what it is.
exactly what we're talking about, is amending the bylaws. Can we
Okay.
draft an amendment during this meeting?
Sure, we just, all right, let me go look at the bylaws to see what the procedure is for.
yeah, because those roles were listed in bylaws. They weren't a separate document, were they?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
who's-
I'm sorry, Rex, what was that?
I was just saying that I think those roles were defined in the bylaws.
Yeah, they definitely are. They
They
definitely
they were not a separate document,
correct.
So
Okay,
for
to
Russ and
create
Brian,
amendments to the bylaws may be proposed by the board of directors or by a petition of at least 10 members or blah, blah, blah. Let's see.
and what's it take to approve?
Ratification of amendments. The Constitution and bylaws may be amended by a 2/3 majority of voting members. Votes shall be conducted in accordance with Article 7, Section 4. So we need to, let's see, Article 7, Section 4.
So what do we have? 9 members?
Voting. All votes shall be conducted in a manner which maximizes participation in a verified and expedited manner. In the case of voting of the entire membership, which this is, voting via electronic means is the preferred method. It doesn't say in the amendment section, it does not specify. Oh, here it is. Yes, it is. Amendments proposed shall have the signatures validated. That's assuming it's coming from somewhere else, and must be submitted to the members with recommendation of the board of directors by the secretary for a vote of within 90 days of when the petition was received by the secretary. So once we come up with a proposed amendment, we have to hold the vote within 90 days. It
Of that
really should have
petition.
it really should have a minimum number of days there too, but it doesn't.
Well, I would say probably a minimum of 30 days because that's what
Yeah.
we do on a regular election. And let me say
I
this
know that
also.
my club, we frequently will do nominations and amendments at the same annual meeting in December.
Okay.
So if we can come up with the amendment today, we
That
can
might be
put
the
both
only
the
thing.
election and the amendment voting on the meeting next month.
Yeah, and I would say anyone who we're pitching being VP true, we would just send them the amendment and be like, look, we're expecting this to be the new roles and responsibilities.
Right, yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
If we only have one person nominated for each position, there's no election for those. There may only be an amendment election.
Right.
Yeah.
So the article that needs to be amended is Article 6, Section 5, Paragraph 2. Here, I've got it on my screen. Let me just share the screen.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. It's this part right there. So Brittany, you already have a pretty good feel for how you want it worded, right?
Yeah.
You
I
want
was
to
gonna
write something down and propose it?
Yeah, I don't think I can edit on that. Is that kind of what you're asking?
No, this is a
No,
PDF.
no.
No,
I would say put it together and give it to Ed,
Okay.
Yes.
and then Ed's got to give it to us.
Okay.
well, we can do this all at one time in
Yeah,
a meeting right now.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay. So yeah, let's just do it in the
I
meeting.
think it's
That way,
just
like,
I think it's just expanding. I don't see anything wrong with what's written there. We're just
No, I agree.
adding more text to it.
do you want to just add, like, draw up like a Word doc, copy that into a Word document, and then put like a space, and then beneath it put amendment, and then we'll like start drafting what we want the additional duties to be?
I think that can be done in over off to the right or in suggested edits or something like that. I'm not familiar with how to use or in
Okay.
comments or something, how to use the Google Docs fully.
Okay. If you guys want to make like a comment or edit, let me know when you're ready and I'll start talking.
He should
I've got it
be
going right now.
Yeah.
public relations,
Yeah.
Okay.
and outreach.
In charge of,
Well, it needs to be like full sentences.
Yeah.
Vice President shall also be responsible for attending and representing the organization at conferences, at all conferences, and act as the public outreach
And I'm not
and
typing
public
that fast.
relations
manager.
liaison for the organization.
Okay, when we
Okay.
say all conferences, does that mean the vice president has to go to not just the TBA convention, but our B school, Central Texas B school, the Northeast Texas B school?
Well,
As
we
many as
could say,
possible.
yeah, I mean, we could say like a
This
minimum
says
of,
shall. The word here says shall. That means they have
Shall.
to go to all of them.
How about all conferences that we deem worthy of actually
that
showing up to?
basically, like, if our organization is having a booth there, the vice president needs to represent.
How
All right,
about
so
all conferences as directed by the board of directors?
thank you. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
That way
Great.
we can decide whether it's worth our time or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're attending and representing all conferences, representing the TBA or the APBR. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so that part's there. What else are they doing?
Oh shit, I forgot what the
Uh,
rest was. How much
public
of what you guys
relations.
said did you type? Write down what you typed so far.
Read what I
Um,
typed.
Yes, please.
Okay,
I
the
took-
vice president shall be responsible for attending and representing the association at all conferences as directed by the board of directors.
Okay. In addition, comma, the vice president shall act as the public relations / public outreach member for the organization.
Nicely done.
I would say outreach coordinator rather than
Okay.
outreach member.
Okay,
Right.
perfect, perfect.
Yeah, that's even better. Coordinator.
Yeah. Okay, let's think about what, okay. And then when you're done with that sentence, let me know. I got another
I'm
sentence.
ready. Go.
Okay. Additional duty of the vice president shall be to. 1 second. Oh crap, what,
What were you thinking?
basically to mentee with the president, basically like, I don't know how to say it.
Earlier-
Well, that's actually in the above paragraph.
Shadow.
It's
Yeah.
where they have the duties and exercise the powers of the president in his absence or incapacitation, and shall act as an advisory capacity in all times.
Okay,
And
So
Yeah, I think
that's
it's
kind of
okay.
already there.
so something
Okay.
you did say earlier was groomed for a successor role, but
Right.
that's what I was trying to get at, to
Yeah.
basically like, I want them to not just like kind of act as backup. I want them to like basically like work with work with Rex to basically, potentially run for like when Rex's term ends,
The next president.
Well, I think
Successor.
more than running for it when the term ends, I think it's be able to step in and do the job right now
Okay,
if Rex can't be there. And that's kind of
Okay.
what that above paragraph already says.
I agree. Yeah.
okay, I'm okay with that then. Yeah.
Okay.
Were there any other, I definitely like them to be the PR and to represent us.
Yeah, those two are there.
What about, Ed had mentioned like they're potentially being like in charge of marketing a new membership, like doing the call drives.
Well,
Is that-
membership is kind of the membership director thing.
So, the other thing was, so yeah, they're acting as the public relations coordinator, and attending, attending.
Meetings as directed by the
Yeah.
board.
So if there's any type of operation or anything that we're doing collectively, and I can't see us doing anything outside of a conference, that he would basically quarterback the entire operation, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What about the legal side of stuff? Like if we ever do get called in to be a witness at a legislative hearing?
oh, yeah. That's a great one. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
So he could
Because
be
that's a function that's not there on anybody yet.
available to be subpoenaed for any type of litigation.
Lobby.
Lobbyist.
And
Yeah,
actually, Mark and or no, I don't know if Mark spoke. Chris and I met with the lobbyist for TBA this last weekend, who very much.
How about
keeps pulse
just
on-
maintain contact and be the information source, be the liaison with the TBA's
Lobbyists.
political lobbyist.
I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I'll
maybe
phrase it that way.
I like that.
Maintain a working knowledge of oh man, legislative activities, I don't think that's the right word, that affect our organization. That kind of goes with like maintain a working relationship with the lobbyists, but also like the VP would kind of like, you know, like if there's something coming down the pipeline from the legislator that might potentially impact us, like, you know, the VP should have their finger on that type of thing. Not like
Right.
they would quite be a lobbyist. Like if we get big enough
Right.
that we want lobbyist power, I think that should be a separate role.
Yeah, I agree, but they need to be the person who's, how do we phrase that? I know exactly where you're getting to. I'm can't come up
Yeah.
with it on it.
Just write something down really gross temporarily and we can wordsmith it. I guess.
Keep your finger on the pulse of legislation, but how do you word that?
Keep abreast of legislative issues affecting the organization.
That's good.
That sounds real good.
Potentially.
Yeah.
All right, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
And be the point, keep abreast of legislative issues affecting the organization and be the liaison or point of contact between our organization and the TBA lobbyist, or, you know, whatever.
Okay, I got that. All right.
Okay. And then I'm happy with the VP role.
Okay, here's the official wording for the amendment. We're adding the following text to what's existing there. The vice president shall also be responsible for, and then bullet point, attending and representing the organization at all meetings and conferences as directed by the board of directors. Next bullet point, act as the public relations, public outreach coordinator for the organization. Bullet point, keep abreast of legislative issues affecting the organization and be the liaison with the TBA legislative lobbyist.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah,
I-
that or
I
the
move,
liaison between the organization and the TBA lobbyists could also work. Yeah, instead of bullet points, since we don't really bullet point anything else, I think maybe colon and then a whole bunch of commas might fit like the same,
or
like
semicolons, yeah.
the same type of like paragraph thing we have for everything else, but that's just like minor formatting pickiness.
Yeah, I agree though. Formatting matters.
Okay, I like it as is. I move that we put this up for, oh, what do we call it? An amendment.
An amendment to this section. I
Yeah.
second that.
Movement is seconded and carried, so it will be added on to our election for the general population of our organization to vote on in December.
Okay. And if
Yes.
for some reason, when you guys reach out to Charlie, if he's like, hell no, that's too much shit, I don't want to do it, you can put me up for VP.
So
Okay.
Like basically, if no one's willing to do it, I'm willing to do it because I think that being the treasurer would be less responsibility for somebody. And like if we can't get
That's
anyone
probably-
to run for VP, then I think we can more easily get someone to run for treasurer is kind of what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like as a new board member, it's a little less for someone to handle.
It's
So-
easier to understand what all's involved with that job. That's true.
Yeah, like it's like a backup. Like if you guys are like, you know, y'all ask Charlie and he's like, I don't want to do this, then just put me on the docket and pitch to him to be treasurer, pitch to someone else to be treasurer.
as soon as you find out from Charlie what his stance is going to be, let us know. We can adjust accordingly.
Okay, and Chris, you said you were messaging Charlie, correct?
I already sent the email.
Okay, there you go.
What'd you send?
It was just real brief.
Okay.
I just said, hey, we talked about you joining the organization. We need you to hurry up and do that so that we can nominate you to be vice president.
You should probably tell him what the VP role is. You might want to send a follow-up to that. And by the way, here's the roles and responsibilities for that position. Let us know if you're interested.
And like with Steve, there was the, by the way, if you want to run, you need to be a member now and do the.
That part actually wasn't even an issue for him. He was going to do the year and a half anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I feel it's more like getting someone to actually do the role, and that role might be the bigger.
Well, Brittany, I think you'd be a good VP. So.
Duh.
You're getting the duties.
Yeah, I did just. These are all the duties I want.
As if you don't have enough on your plate.
Well, okay, well, first we did not have any real roles for VP, which
True.
may or may not have been part of our issue with having VP engagement. But I mean, those were roles that our organization needed a board member to take over anyway, from my perspective.
And with all of the positions, we've had a year of realizing what we need to do, and we're going to have more of that going on.
Yeah.
Too, as we get more members and we have the website integration with being able to portal people's accounts to add and everything. I mean, our roles are going to shift and change and be fluid, to some extent. Well, do we have any
Mark.
other business to add? Let me look at my notes.
I have one thing I just wanted to discuss about insurance.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Because I got to talk to Steve Osborne, who is the Texas insurance guy. He's the guy that I have my insurance through.
Yeah, me
in
too.
Central Texas.
Mhm.
But Rex, you were telling me that your insurance, who you got through, was it Mark?
Ed.
Yeah, Ed, Ed and I have it.
Y'all are getting your insurance through another company, and
Citadel.
it's cheaper than what we have.
Oh, yeah. Citadel, the policy that they wrote for us is it's specifically for beekeepers. They know what we do. And when she gave me the quote, my jaw dropped, and I said, and I picked up the phone and called her, and I said, you realize that we're doing bee removals, and I want to make sure that I'm covered for,
Structural removals.
cutting a water line or something, when I go into someone's house. And she says,
How much is it?
Mine is under 500. It was like 475 or something.
Totally
Yeah.
switching in February.
Mine was 512.
Now, I don't know what differences there are between your policy and mine, Ed, but I don't know that it covers, theft
hive
of
count.
equipment or anything like that. That I don't know.
They'll ask you your hive count, and based on your hive count will depend on where your premium is set.
Okay.
So I started out at 450 the first year. This past year it was 515 because of my hive count.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Osborne through Central Texas, they do it the same way. They base it on either the number of removals you do or the number of hives you have. I don't remember which, but my insurance was like $550.
They quoted me
That's not bad.
$2,700 for this year.
They base it based on the dollar amount of removals you do, and then they base it on the aggregate value of your hive equipment. Basically, you can say I have X amount of hives, and they'll calculate, or you can say I have X amount of dollars worth of equipment, and then they'll also say, do you sell honey? And then they will also add on some insurance for basically if someone is you sell me honey that poisoned me or whatever.
Oh,
But
see,
it's way more expensive than what y'all are getting quoted at Citadel.
yeah, see, I'm not interested in having them cover my hives or my honey. Because my homeowner's insurance is where I do all that stuff, covers
Okay.
all that.
Well, that's nice.
But does your
Um,
homeowner's
Well,
insurance?
the highest part of Central was like $35 a year. So it's like
Oh, well,
not the bulk
okay.
of it because it's whatever. I don't need to go into details, but they class it under something for like boats or something.
What Steve Osborne told me out at the convention was if we can get a copy of the policy that you have, Rex, they will match it.
Oh,
and then I
now
also
they're
talked to
motivated after
well,
like
I also
breaking the
told him
circle.
that because he saw our booth there, and
Yeah.
I said, well, one of the things we want to do is not necessarily because everybody's insurance is different, but if they're a member of our association, y'all need to give them whatever that quote is, then a discount off of that. And
Yeah.
he was for that.
So, okay, all of us currently carry insurance. So what if we just put all of our policies on like a central drive and we could go through like and see if all the policies have the same coverage or if there's like, certain, we could even like, I don't really know, like, I'm assuming they probably all cover the same thing, but if like one covers something that's, we could also go back and be like, look, this is the list of what we want covered and this is the rate we want. I don't know.
How do I do a central drive? I mean.
No, that's what we've been using the whole time. Mark.
The Google Docs
the
drive,
Google Docs drive.
basically, we would create a folder that says like all of our insurance policies and we would just dump our insurance policies in and then someone would like review all those and see if they all cover the exact same things or, in the fine details, if there's different wording of what they cover, basically the idea is like we're collective bargaining at this point.
I can't remember if I got a big thick envelope or if I got an email. If I got an email, yeah, I can dump it. But if I got a big thick envelope, I mean, what?
Yeah,
Well,
I got it. You could always say I want a digital copy and ask them to email you your digital copy of your terms and conditions.
Yeah, I got no problem with that other than the mechanics of it.
Yeah, I'm fine to dump mine into the common drive.
All right. Well, I'm creating a folder on the Google Drive right now called insurance.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's already shared by everybody.
Okay.
So
okay, a few. Hold on, I think I have a few action items, but I'm not quite sure of them at this point. Okay. Crap. Ed,
Yes, ma'am.
what are my action items so far?
Your action items is to submit. I mean, are you the one submitting the petition for the amendment? Or are we
the
voting
board,
on it? Or
officially, the board is recommending the amendment.
okay. So it's being
Because the
recommended.
board itself can propose amendments.
Yeah, I thought before that I had an action item though. Earlier in the meeting, did I take an action item for something?
Oh yeah. Your password for the PayPal. You're going to do the Chrome. Get your setting on Chrome so you get that password to Chris for the PayPal.
No.
Oh,
that
that's been done.
No,
That's been done?
okay, I'm gonna put, I think that's along the lines, Frost for Zelle. And,
Yeah, the Zelle.
Cash App.
Yeah.
Okay, Zelle and Cash App. And, man, I feel like there's something else for that. Oh, and talk to Frost about extending our terms. Okay. For our 600 minimum. Okay. Okay. I think that was all my action items. Okay. Thank you.
Can you go ahead and transfer the money that's in PayPal over to Frost
Yes.
so that, okay,
Oh, and also I needed to, no, there's a few more things. I need to, invoice new members, and update
just-
the spreadsheet.
Yeah, just the one. Or,
Yeah,
yeah, just.
10,000.
okay. Okay.
and check on Dan Jones to see if he paid.
Okay, check on Dan Jones. Okay.
Invoice him if he's
There you
not.
I'm
go.
like almost positive he did, but okay, I will do that. Okay, so I have put insurance into insurance Google Drive. Okay, that everyone's doing that. Okay, Frost for Zelle and Cash App. Talk to Frost about extending returns, invoice new members, and update the spreadsheet and check on Dan Jones. Pretty sure that covers all of my action items. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm messaging myself that. Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah,
I don't show you as having access to the Google Drive. What is your? I think I have. Okay, yeah, you do have a Katie Fun Guy is your Gmail account. That's how you have to access it.
okay.
Drive.google.com, I think is the,
Yes, that's right. And you should just have gotten an email to your Gmail account now. Yeah, that works.
Let me see. Oh, okay. Need to switch account here. Okay. Show, I see the folder now. Okay, I see. Administrative, bookkeeping, bylaws, insurance, meeting agendas. Okay.
Yep.
Insurance folder is empty. Okay, I'll see if I've got something online and I'll
Yeah,
contribute.
yeah, that's where we're gonna all put our insurance information.
Okay. All right, we'll do.
All right, cool.
Anything else?
I don't have any extra business.
I don't either.
Mm. Me neither.
We covered a lot tonight.
Yeah.
We've gone to the past the or about at the 2-hour mark.
Actually, I lied. I do have something else. Okay, fake out. So who is going to email out all the new members to let them know that they can vote for board of directors? Okay, so we have a few things. We have to figure out if who's running for board of directors, and then which sounds like Chris, you're kind of handling that a little bit, and then past that, we're gonna need to like somehow follow up, coordinate, and then communicate out to the membership. That
Well, I'm
voted
gonna
for board of
create
directors.
the email list for the membership because we
Okay.
don't have a membership email list, and I'm gonna
Okay.
create a couple of them. One basically people who can vote, and then the other one's gonna be everybody.
Okay, what is gonna happen for say like, okay, are you planning to email out the voting roster or are you planning to have them attend open the next board meeting to them to vote? Like,
Well, the
How are
board meetings
planning-
are by the bylaws open to them anyway.
okay, but how are you planning to have them vote? Because by the
Oh,
bylaws, I believe it says 2/3 of the eligible voting members have to vote or something. But what if we don't actually have 2/3 participation?
let me go back to the. I think it's 2/3 of the votes is how it actually.
Okay. Because if not, we should amend that to the bylaws while we're proposing amendments.
And call or bulk email the people on the apiary inspection list.
Say, what's that?
Oh,
don't-
we ran into problems with that. Chris submitted to get hard copies of the information,
Oh,
and I submitted for electronic information to get emails. And emails were something that was redacted because that's personal info, even though they left the people's home addresses on the list.
Just
That's
Mary
Strange.
just pissed me off.
That's just
divvy
so dumb.
Yep.
it up by name and everybody take a fourth and we'll call them.
Yeah. Chris, just send us each a list of people to contact,
yeah.
oh, well,
okay?
Yeah.
And we'll be responsible for them,
okay.
Okay.
for
I'll
contacting.
Divide it up.
Next meeting.
An action item for me is I got last year's list too, which may be more complete because it was the full year of people who had their permits in 2021. So I've got that and can export it into a spreadsheet format. That way we don't double call people, and I'll combine names and everything so we don't get 3 people calling them about 3 different counties or however we divvy it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because some people are gonna be in a lot of counties, so.
Yeah, like me, because I'm they don't list me under any counties this year because I've got so many counties that I listed.
Oh, wow. I guess
There's-
I haven't even been on TAS this year to see. Wow, I guess I should go check, see how I'm listed this year.
Okay, I looked up the voting thing. It says 2/3 majority of voting members. That, by definition, that means of the people who voted.
Okay,
Right.
So we're good.
okay. So how are we gonna do the vote? Is it gonna be email or is it gonna be attend the next board meeting to vote?
I'm all for another Survey Monkey thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way. Survey Monkey. It's easy. Most people are pretty familiar with it. It's kind of foolproof. I
Okay.
think we should use Survey Monkey.
Okay, who's gonna be responsible for emailing that out to the,
That has to be one of the 3 people on the nomination committee.
I'll take that on.
okay, also while we're at it, what about getting the 2 other members of the membership committee? Should we nominate some people for that?
I think what we do is we invite everybody to the board meeting for December's board meeting,
Okay,
where we can then announce the results of the vote of the election.
okay,
And then we'll just ask for volunteers then from people that want to join the Zoom session.
okay. So you're gonna ask for volunteers for who wants to be on the membership committee for the year?
Yeah,
Okay,
does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any last minute things? Any last minute words before we shut it down for the night? We've gone long already.
Yeah.
We are right at the 2-hour mark. All right.
yeah, but we had a lot to cover, so
Yeah.
it was good. It was good.
Motion
Yeah.
to adjourn.
Well, thank you all for showing up, and I look forward to a new year, and we got some work to do this month. So,
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Chris, I guess just let us know as soon as you hear something back from Charlie B Company.
I CC'd you on that email, by the way.
Okay. And if you don't hear back from him let Brittany know and let her,
Yeah.
you know, tickle him from that direction too, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, but if Charlie says yes, make sure to send him what the rules are so he's not blindsided, but.
I'll send him a link to the whole bylaws.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
All right,
right.
well,
Cool. Good night, y'all.
Good
night.
night. Thank you all. All right.
Big
Bye-bye.
dreams.
Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.